got the roof out. I already started to clean up this flange a little bit. I'll get that cleaned up a lot better. Started taking the piece over the top of the door off. I've measured from here to the top there, and from this body line down to that body line, and they're the same on both sides, which tells me that this is not moved even though I've taken this structure out. So getting in, I'm about ready to, I think, to try to remove part of this A-pillar. I got in here, and there's this piece here is actually welded in on top of the A-pillar here and then into the front. So this is going to have to come out to be able to do the A-pillar. Don't necessarily need to remove any more of this because this will come off with the A-pillar. But to be able to get into the A-pillar, I had to get the rockers off, at least back past where the A-pillar's at. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out, and I'm going to go ahead and remove both of the rockers, the outer rocker panels, finish getting this one off, and get the one on the other side out of the way so that I have better access to the underneath where the A-pillar goes in. I also noticed that up inside of here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, there's a bracket right here that's welded in. Looks like it's connected to both the inner cowl and the rocker. So I'm going to have to figure that out, probably get that removed. What that bracket is that's where the upper part of the inner fender well bolts. So I think I'm going to have to get that removed, and I can get it completely out because I'll still have the holes out here, and I'll be able to weld it back in if I need it, which I may, but I could get that out of the way to help free the A-pillar. But you can see right here's the seam where the A-pillar lays inside that inner cowl. And just guessing, I'm figuring I probably got about an inch overlap there. Got the rocker off on the driver's side, and look at what I found inside of it. Don't know how long that's been in there, but wow. Got the outer rocker completely off. Inner rocker is actually surprisingly down here is in decent shape. It's right here that it's bad. But you can see the lower part of the A-pillar is shot. You can get this patch. It comes from about here down to fix that. But I've got rust. You can see there's rust right there. There's holes up in here. So it's all shot. And it's not worth doing a lot of work and patching all that only to have more rust show up in a year. So that's why I'm doing the A-pillar. I have this beautiful piece to go up in there. Got this ready to go. It's got the hole. There's a bracket for the dashboard that bolts up right there. The dashboard will bolt or weld up there, and then this flange goes under, and then this flange will get holes in it, and that gets welded to the firewall itself. So, but as you can see, all that rusted metal down at the bottom is present. So we are ready to start figuring out how to get that in there. I went ahead and put the cab back down on jack stands. My next thing is I'm going to start with the welds here. I've got to remove the welds all the way up to this point because this is where the A-pillar is sandwiched in. and I'll probably notch this back just to get clearance there. And then I've got some got to find the spot welds here and get those out. I may go ahead and remove this, but I may just trim it back. The next thing is, like I said, I'm going to get this A-pillar out. You can see all these spot welds all the way down there. So I'll get this A-pillar out and then start looking at fitting up the new one. And I want to keep this intact, and I want to keep the dash in for now. So once I get it in, I'll screw it. I've got some sheet metal screws, self drilling and tapping. I'll go ahead and screw it in place. And I went ahead, these bolts are in pretty bad shape, so I ran up and I got new bolts for it, so I can bolt that up. I've got the holes here as a reference, so I can go ahead and do that and get this A-pillar out. Yep, that's what I've been working on. Got this piece trimmed out. I've got this free. The A-pillar is free of this piece. Still got the firewall section up in there. It's free up in here, and I got this out. I was thinking that the bracket was welded to the firewall, but it is not. This is the bracket for the fender, inner fender well, and it sets in there. It's welded to the A-pillar and this piece here. So I got that out. I'll be able to get that all cleaned up. I'll probably sandblast that and then get a good coat of paint on it. But you can see it was dry up in there. That's where I was grinding out welds. They had a whole bunch of welds on that thing. I don't know what filler or seam sealer they used on these, but it smells like rubber whenever it gets hot. So you can see here where the A-pillar goes up underneath. So I'm about ready to get this out. Is why I'm replacing the A-pillars. That is thin metal. It came apart real easy. I don't know how well you can see, but this is all super thin. It's bad. So this piece here was welded actually to the dash. Well, this is where we're at now. So this is the thing that was giving me a fit. This was welded to the inside of the dash, or the A-pillar. This is part of the dashboard. So I was not expecting that. There was 2 tabs there that were spot welded, holding the dash to the A-pillar. So this is the bracket that I was talking about that connects up on the dash. So I got that out. I've got the bolts setting off to the side, but I have removed all of this flange. I've got to clean it up. There's quite a bit of this that's rough, but I think it's savable. I'm going to get that all stripped back before I put the A-pillar back in. I'm going to get all that stripped back, and there's some Bondo down in here. Get that out. So I've got this piece. I'm going to have to manufacture part of this, but I think all of this is going to be fine right up in here. The next thing I got to do is I've got to clean up all of this, get all of this stuff taken out so I can get the upper half of this A-pillar out. My intentions for the vent plate is I'm going to drill those out, and I'll just drill out the 2 spot welds. I'm going to polish that up real nice, and then I'll drill holes in the new A-pillar to be able to set that. But we are getting there. One of the big things I've found about doing this A-pillar is this bracket right here. I was not aware of it, but I'm going to have to trim this back a little bit. I'm not going to take it all the way off. I think I'm going to take a little bit off of it. This bracket goes into the A-pillar. This is the old A-pillar, and it welds up right there. There's 2 spot welds, and that thing was killing me trying to get that thing apart. So the replacement A-pillar has that same flap, but there's no way without removing this piece, there's no way to get in there to weld that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it up so that it'll sit in there, but I'm not going to worry about trying to weld it. So that so far is the biggest thing that I see with this new A-pillar. Right now what I'm doing is I'm cleaning this up, getting all this cleaned up. This looks kind of rusty, but getting in there, it's solid. It's just got a lot of pitting on top. This area is not great. This area is not too bad. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to cut out probably here and come over and down and get all of this section out. I have this floorboard to go in, but see, even this up in here, it just looks pitted. It's not bad. It's strong all the way up until here. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to come across like this and replace this section, and then this piece will get replaced. That's how bad the inside of that A-pillar was. It's bad. I'm fixing to try fitting this up and see how it goes. So I'm going to take this back out because I got an issue up here at the top. I'm going to have to trim that back some. So I trimmed some stuff off of here. Now I'm thinking that I should it's trying to fit really well. It is going to require some tweaking, I can tell. Part of the problem is this is twisted now, but now that's coming up in there, fitting better. So lines up good here. Probably come up a little bit more there. Just out of curiosity, because I know that the bar was 2 inches from the top. 2 inches, dead on. So this line was, let's see, I got my measurements. It's 28 1/4. An 1/8 inch gap here, and I'm an 1/8 inch shy here. And then at the top, wait, let's see, the bottom hole was 43 13/16 across the bottom hole from the front of the pillar. So the bottom of the pillar needs to go forward just a hair, and this needs to go forward. So it just needs to set forward, but all in all, it's looking pretty good. So this is the Classic Parts A-pillar for the 60 through 63. It's installed. A little bit loose here, but this is going to be getting replaced. It needs to come up just a hair here, but it's fitting in there pretty good. I've got to work the floorboard a little bit because there's a lot of rust and it's bulked up, but it fits here pretty good. There's a little bit of a gap, but I'll be able to force that forward to take care of that gap. This is going to fit up in just like that. And then once I bend that tab down and get that tab all set, then this tab here, then that'll all line up. But yeah, we're making way. So the inside of the A-pillar was bad. So you can see this is all eaten up, and I don't know if you can see down inside of there, but it's pretty rotted out. A lot of rust up in there. This is really bad. There's the piece that's on the outside here has holes in it, and you can see all that's rusted up. None of this was treated internally. So there's a part of the A-pillar. That's the lower section. This is the inside piece that was starting to rust up, and it's pretty bad. So I was going to have to cut a lot of that out to try to fix that. And now I do not, because I have an A-pillar that mounts up and fits. So still got some work to do, but we've got one A-pillar on there, mocked up. Need to get this all set and bring it up and get it all where it's setting correctly. But all in all, it's I'm very happy with it. I may try to raise the dash just a hair, but this will all get pinch welded into the dash. So probably be easier to manipulate the dash after I get the rest of it cut out, because and get this piece out of there. But for now, it's getting there. Lines up with the dashboard really good right there. Comes up to the top. There is some work to be done up there, but it's getting there. So this is the air box for this side. It'll set up in there, and actually it sets really well. The only thing is there's a mark right here. I'm gonna have to trim that back, which I've already identified that. But once all this gets done up, this is gonna have to be trimmed back just a hair right here, because the this piece of metal is just a tad bit too long.